Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have finally episode 5 of Unforgotten Music Legends. Guys, I finally came around to making this video, trying to decide who I should pick next as the next music legend video. And just so happens we lost a major legend recently in the music world. Who am I talking about? Everybody knows. I'm talking about Quincy Jones Jr. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, guys. An arranger, composer, a musician, writer. This guy has been in the business for so long, making music, some of the biggest hits in the music industry, including songs from Frank Sinatra all the way down to Michael Jackson's Thriller. Yes, the one and only Quincy Jones. Also had his hand in television, producing hit shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, breaking Will Smith as a major television star, then becoming a major movie star. So yeah, I decided this episode 5, why don't we just go ahead and dedicate it to Quincy Jones, an unforgotten music legend. It's like a melody. You can study orchestration, you can study harmony and theory and everything else, but melodies come straight from God. Quincy Delight Jones Jr., known to his friends as Q, was born on Chicago's South Side. When he was 10, he moved with his father and stepmother to Bremerton, Washington, a suburb of Seattle. He first fell in love with music when he was in elementary school and tried nearly all the instruments in his school band before settling on the trumpet. While barely in his teens, Quincy befriended a local singer. The two youths formed a combo, eventually landing small club and wedding gigs. At 18, the young trumpeter won a scholarship to Berklee College of Music in Boston, but dropped out abruptly when he received an offer to go on the road with bandleader Lionel Hampton. The stint with Hampton led to work as a freelance arranger. Jones settled in New York, where throughout the 1950s he wrote charts for Tommy Dorsey, Gene Krupa, Sarah Vaughan, Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Dinah Washington, Cannonball Adderley, and his old friend Ray Charles. By 1956, Quincy Jones was performing as a trumpeter and music director with the Dizzy Gillespie Band on a State Department-sponsored tour of the Middle East and South America. Shortly after his return, he recorded his first album as a bandleader in his own right for ABC, Mercury Records' French distributor. As a musical director of Harold Arlen's jazz musical Free and Easy, Quincy Jones took to the road again. A European tour closed in Paris in February 1960 with musicians from the Arlen Show. Jones formed his own band with 18 artists plus their families in tow. European and American concerts met enthusiastic audiences and sparkling reviews, but concert earnings could not support a band of this size, and the band dissolved, leaving its leader deeply in debt. In 1957, Quincy settled in Paris, where he studied composition with Nadia Boulanger and Olivier Messiaen, and worked as a music director for Barclay Disques. After a personal loan from Mercury Records head Irving Green helped resolve his financial difficulties, Jones went to work in New York as a music director for the label. In 1964, he was named a vice president of Mercury Records, the first African American to hold such an executive position in a white-owned record company. In that same year, Quincy Jones turned his attention to another musical area that had long been closed to blacks, the world of film scores. At the invitation of director Sidney Lumet, he composed the music for The Pawnbroker. Following the success of The Pawnbroker, Jones left Mercury Records and moved to Los Angeles. After his score for The Slender Thread, starring Sidney Poitier, he was in constant demand as a composer. His film credits in the next 5 years included Walk, Don't Run, In Cold Blood, In the Heat of the Night, A Dandy in Aspic, McKennia's Gold, Bob and Carol, and Ted and Alice, The Lost Man, Cactus Flower, and The Getaway. To date, he has written over 33 major motion picture scores. For television, Quincy wrote the theme music for Ironside, the first synthesizer-based TV theme song. Sanford and Son, and The Bill Cosby Show. The 1960s and 70s were also years of social activism for Quincy Jones. He was a major supporter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Operation Breadbasket, an effort to promote economic development in the inner cities. After Dr. King's death, Quincy Jones served on the board of Reverend Jesse Jackson's People United to Save Humanity push. An ongoing concern throughout Jones' career has been to foster appreciation of African American music and culture. To this end, he helped form IBAM, the Institute for Black American Music. Proceeds from IBAM events were donated toward the establishment of a National Library of African American Art and Music. He is also one of the founders of the annual Black Arts Festival in Chicago. In 1973, Quincy Jones co-produced the CBS television special, Duke Ellington, We Love You Madly. The film composer, activist, TV producer had not abandoned his career as a recording artist, however. From 1969 to 1981, he recorded a series of chart-busting Grammy-winning albums, fusing a sophisticated jazz sensibility with R&B grooves and popular vocalists. These included Walking in Space, Agula Materi, Smackwater Jack, and Nadia. In 1973, You've Got It Bad, Girl marked his recording debut as a singer. Its follow-up, Body Heat, sold over 1 million copies and stayed in the top 5 on the charts for 6 months. However, in August 1974, Jones suffered a near-fatal cerebral aneurysm, the bursting of blood vessels leading to the brain. After 2 delicate operations and 6 months of recuperation, Quincy Jones was back at work with his dedication renewed. The albums Mellow Madness, I Heard That, and The Dude finished out his contract with A&M Records as a performer, but new challenges laid just ahead. Jones went back into the studio to produce Michael Jackson's first solo album, Off the Wall. 8 million copies were sold, making Jackson an international superstar, and Quincy Jones the most sought-after record producer in Hollywood. The pair teamed up again in 1982 to make Thriller. It became the best-selling album of all time, selling over 30 million copies around the globe and spawning an unprecedented 6 top 10 singles, including Billie Jean, Beat It, and Wanna Be Starting Something, Got to Be Starting Something. I said you wanna be starting something, got to be starting something. Ooh! His debut as a filmmaker occurred in 1985 when he co-produced Steven Spielberg's adaptation of Alice Walker's The Color Purple. The film won 11 Oscar nominations and introduced Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey to movie audiences. Oprah was so impressed with Quincy, she told all her Hollywood friends, "You have to use him too." She said, "You get it, Quincy, you get it, Quincy, you get it, Quincy, you get it, Quincy." In 1993, Quincy Jones and David Salzman staged the concert spectacular An American Reunion to celebrate the inauguration of President Bill Clinton. The two impresarios decided to form a permanent partnership called Quincy Jones/David Salzman Entertainment, QDE, a co-venture with Time Warner Incorporated. The company in which Jones served as a co-CEO and chairman encompassed multimedia programming for current and future technologies, including theatrical motion pictures and television. QDE also published Vibe magazine and produced the popular NBC TV series Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. At the same time, Jones ran his own record label, Quest Records, as chairman and CEO. Quest Broadcasting, one of the largest minority-owned broadcasting companies in the United States. Throughout the 1990s, he continued to produce hit records including Back on the Block and Q's Juke Joint. I think that's the album that featured a young Tevin Campbell. You know, and he was like, "Tomorrow will bring better you, better me." Way before that Can We Talk challenge. In 2001, he published Q, the autobiography of Quincy Jones, a richly illustrated volume of reflections on his life and career. The complete Quincy Jones, My Journey and Passions followed in 2008. 2 years later, he released his first new album in 15 years, Soul Bossa Nostra, featuring an all-star cast of contemporary pop, R&B, and hip-hop artists, in which Quincy Jones called a family celebration. In 2013, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Quincy Jones entered yet another new field of endeavor in 2017, lending his name to a new exchange-traded investment fund, ETF, the Quincy Jones Streaming Music, Media, and Entertainment ETF. The fund, sub-advised by Vendant Investment, is among the first to license the name of a well-known figure from the world of arts and entertainment to attract investors in the booming ETF market. In 2018, Quincy Jones was the subject of a feature-length documentary of his life and work, Quincy. Distributed by Netflix, the film was written and directed by his daughter, actress and filmmaker Rashida Jones, who carries on her father's legacy of artistry and social activism. At the 2019 Grammy Awards, the film was honored as the Best Musical Film of the Year. Quincy Jones has now received 28 Grammy Awards, more than any other living artist. Quincy Jones, the music mogul whose career in the industry spanned over 7 decades, died Sunday night at the age of 91 years old on November the 4th. His publicist Arnold Robinson confirmed to Fox News Digital. Jones was surrounded by his children, siblings, and close family at his home in Bel Air, California. Wow, Bel Air, like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Crazy. Well, there you have it, guys. The music legend himself, Quincy Jones. And wow, what a marvel this guy was. I mean, this guy came from nothing and just wowed the world with his musical talent, his way to write hit songs, his way to work with other artists. He even brought back people's careers like Frank Sinatra. You know, Frank Sinatra was a pretty popular guy, but his sales were down at one point. Until he started working with Quincy Jones, and they came out with that "Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars." Yes, guys. That was Quincy Jones. So yeah, the guy's all over, man. You know, if it wasn't for Quincy Jones, we wouldn't have Thriller, Off the Wall. Michael Jackson wouldn't be who he is or was today if it wasn't for Quincy Jones. So yeah, man, you know, it's good. We got to give Quincy Jones his props, give him his flowers. Another unforgotten music legend that is passed on, guys. But we appreciate the music. I'll continue to listen to Quincy Jones music, Sanford & Son theme, Michael Jackson, the work he did, the song they have on Austin Powers, Bossa Nova. Always great classic music. You probably hear Quincy Jones all the time when you go places, shopping malls and places like that, and you don't even realize it's him. A lot of jazz, classical music. So thank you guys so much for watching my series here, Unforgotten Music Legends. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.